I'm not yet to bore you with long talks, so I will try to make this as interactive as possible. I will learn from you and you will equally learn from me. So I'll be rushing through my slide, but before we begin, can you just put your hands together for yourselves, please? Congratulations once again. You are the very best. So, first slide. Discipline got me this far. This is my topic for today. Next slide. That was the outline. Okay, so what is discipline? The word has been overly used in event centers, training programs, various places of worships, even in the streets. But let's really find out what really is discipline. So I will read. This is a definition by Tracy B. And it says, discipline is the practice of training oneself or others to adhere to a set of rules, principles, or code of. So there are rules, there are principles, and there are code of conduct. So what do? We are training ourselves to adhere to those rules. Let's check the next slide. Next slide, please. So strategies to maintain discipline. So these are 5 strategies. The very first one says, minimize distractions. So for example, we all know our distractions. Mine is my phone, okay? I'll be very honest with you. So I have a target, I have something to do, and I have to minimize distraction. Sometimes I intentionally do not subscribe, okay? Because I know if I have data, there are so many distractions. So minimize distractions. Second one says, create a routine. Basically, before coming here this morning, I had a routine. I go as far as writing on my to-do list, beats. As far as writing beats, yes. I wake up and I write beats and things I need to do. So I had a routine before coming here. Create a routine. Next one says practice self-control. Okay? Now self-control is you want to do something, but self-control tells you don't do it. That's self-control. Okay? This is September, right? And it's no soda September. Okay? So you want to take Fanta, and self-control tells you no. Okay? Next one is prioritize tasks. So you have a task, you have something you want to do, prioritize it. And the last one, set clear goals. Have a target. Have a target. So have a target. What do you want to achieve? And how do you want to achieve it? So next slide, let's run very quickly. Next slide. So who can tell me who is this? Albert Einstein. Correct. So this is Albert Einstein, right? So let's find out who is Albert Einstein. Next slide. Next slide, please. Okay, so Albert Einstein, a renowned physicist, revolutionized science with his theories. His special theory of relativity showed space and time's curvature, while his general theory of relativity linked gravity to space-time curvature. Awarded the Nobel Prize in 1921 for his photoelectric effect. So it's a long read, and these are all amazing things about this very man. If you don't know any of these things, I'm sure you remember this very formula, E equals to mc squared. We have all solved with that, right? So, next slide. Okay, do you know this guy? Okay, I'm sure you don't know, but this is baby Albert Einstein. So, it might surprise you that while growing up, this guy, baby Albert Einstein, struggled. He couldn't really conform to traditional education. He was expected to memorize, normal now, right? We cram in school and stick to the curriculum, but he couldn't. So he what? He dropped out and he was homeschooled by his mom. Did you know? He didn't, right? Next slide. Very quickly, next slide. Okay, who can tell me what is this? Anyone? Mona Lisa. Wow, you guys are very smart. So this is Mona Lisa. Let's find out about this very painting. Next slide. So Mona Lisa is considered an architectural masterpiece of the Italian Renaissance. It has been described as the best known, the most visited, the most written about, the most sung about, and the most parodied work of art in the world. The Mona Lisa is one of the most valuable paintings in the world. It holds the Guinness record for the highest known painting insurance valuation in history at $100 million United States dollar. That's a lot of money, okay? So, why am I telling you about Mona Lisa? You'll find out. It's a painting by a man. Next slide. Okay, so this is the aerial machine, the walking sketch of a helicopter. Now, when Dr. Essel was talking, he spoke about taking flight, right? The helicopter. So this painting is by a particular man. And it might interest you that this was done in the 17th century. That is 400 years That is 4 centuries before the very first helicopter took flight. You can imagine, picture this. Before the very first helicopter took flight, this painting was already existing. So this particular man was 4 centuries ahead of his generation. Interesting. Next slide. Very quickly, please. Next slide. This is a very painting, The Last Supper, one of the most priceless painting in the world. Next slide. I'll tell you about the man, the one who created all this. Leonardo da Vinci. So this is the man, okay? But we all know this good stuff about Leonardo da Vinci, the Mona Lisa, The Last Supper, the Aero Machine. But amongst all this, while growing up, Leonardo da Vinci struggled with reading and writing, okay? He couldn't really tell if A comes before B. It was that bad. He couldn't tell if X comes before Y or Y comes before Z. It was that bad. But now, we are all hearing the good stuff. Next slide. Next slide. So before the next slide, look above your heads. Look above your heads, everyone. Can you see light bulbs? Right? Good. So who created light bulbs? Electricity. Thomas Edison. So same story. He struggled with reading and writing. I'm sure you don't know, but make your research. And yes, he had to drop out, and he was homeschooled by his mom as well. Next slide, very quickly. Pablo Picasso. Do you know him?
No.
Okay, he's a famous cubist painter. Same story. Struggled. Okay, let me tell you a story about Pablo. So while growing up, his mom asked him, Pablo, get me 7 plates. And Pablo came back with 6 plates. His mom asked, why 6? And he said he doesn't really understand the concept behind the number 7. So these are all struggles from this man. Next slide. Very interesting one. What is this?
Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse. Okay, we all know Mickey Mouse and we all love Mickey Mouse. Disney Junior and yeah, all this Disney Wonderland and the rest. But Walt Disney, this is the creator of Mickey Mouse, right? So let me tell you about Walt Disney. While growing up, same story. He struggled with reading and writing, so he dived straight into arts. Next slide. Neil Diamond, same story. So guess what? He found solace in music. Next slide. This is the most interesting one, Agatha Christie. I'll tell you about her. So this is a writer who couldn't read and write while growing up. It shocked you, Abby. So Agatha Christie couldn't read and write while growing up. She couldn't read and write. Imagine a writer who couldn't read and write. But what? She continued. She was homeschooled by her mom, and the rest is history. Next slide. This guy, Perfect Flavor. Do you know him? Okay, so Perfect Flavor didn't really like the idea of conventional education. He didn't really like the idea of standardized testing, having to memorize and cram. It's not really my thing. But whatsoever he is right now, he's standing in front of you. Next slide. Okay, from ridicule to applause. These persons had their own struggles. They had their own stories. They were called dullards. They were called dummies. In Nigerian term, Olodo, you know. But we are hearing about the good stuff, right? No one talks about the bad part anymore. From ridicule to applause. Next slide. Okay, so the last part is blank, intentionally. Do you know why? You're a nest. So you're the next person. Next slide. So this is the most important part of this whole activity. And I would like the movie to stop, and I would like us to close our eyes. Everyone, close your eyes. Don't be scared. Your phone is not going to be listening. Just close your eyes. If I can have a sound, a soft sound in the background, that would be very nice. A soft sound in the background. So you close your eyes and imagine a world of limitless possibilities. Imagine a world where you can be anything you want to be. Okay? And when you open your eyes, that is your decision. Can we do that? So close your eyes, everyone. Now imagine a world of limitless possibilities. What do you want to become? So paint good pictures. Thank you. Open your eyes. So whatever you saw, that's your decision. Thank you very much.